Welcome to our Thanksgiving episode. Today we will be discussing Thanksgiving and why it is the most important American holiday. Thank you for tuning in to Contra Mundum.
The American Revolution, in other words, is never finished. It must always be renewed.
Greater love than this hath no man, than that he lay down his life for his friend.
What if it's not envy?
We must take back our cities, and take back our culture, and take back our country. God bless you, and God bless America.
Well, hello and welcome to our first trial episode in a recording studio in progress.
Yeah, it's not done yet.
No.
You can see the smoke alarm there. Hopefully it doesn't beep.
Chirp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't yet, but
I was going to say
never
at the intro, welcome to our first and last Thanksgiving episode.
our last one. What are you talking about?
I was doing a Will Stancil, man.
Oh,
39th and last.
Nobody's gonna get that.
They should.
All right. Well,
They follow us on Twitter. They should. Just Google 39th and last birthday party.
All right. So
We're going to read an article.
we are gonna read an article on Thanksgiving. But we have.
Do you have any like preliminary thoughts on Thanksgiving?
I love it.
It's the best holiday.
It is my favorite holiday, and I look forward to it every year. I love food. As
I
you
like
all know.
Thanksgiving because they have a hard time internationalizing it.
Well, exactly. And that's what this article is.
I know it
basically
is.
about. Yeah.
But I've been saying this for a while that Christmas, they can make the claim that, Jesus was born for the sake of the world, which is true.
It's 100% true. Yeah.
And they can basically, and it is. I mean, Christmas is an international holiday, but
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is not. And they have a hard time
American.
commercializing it for that reason. And it's so ingrained within the Protestant Anglo ethos that you can't really internationalize it without betraying yourself, without exposing yourself as subversive. One of my favorite things about Thanksgiving is the fact that they try to make it into this general, I have a spirit of gratitude.
I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
And it's well, to whom are you thankful?
Or they try to make it about like harvest and all this, they try to broaden it. But it's actually very much about the Protestant God. That's what it's about. And it's steeped in literally the experience of Puritans who had gone through a very hellish winter. And what we're thankful for today is God preserving them for our sake.
Yeah.
And so you can't really internationalize that. I mean, It makes no sense for someone from the Arab world to engage in that. Like Somalians can't connect with that at all.
No.
So
Exactly.
that's why I like it.
And that's not the only reason I like it.
That's why I like it.
I know it's why you like it, but I like it just simply because it's ours, and it is. I mean, all the things. Like when I was a little kid, and you'd make, I went to public school, and back then, it was practically like public school 200 years ago, right? And we're making little, hats with buckles on them, and
that's crazy. Yeah.
Dressing up one of the kids. This is,
what do they do in
early
public
90s,
schools? Do they even talk about the Puritans?
One of the kids got to be
at all?
Squanto,
Do they talk about the Puritans at all?
I mean, when I was a kid,
No,
they did,
like today.
Oh no. I mean, maybe let's say,
or they have to say they were they were murderous people and
well, no, I don't even think I think they still emphasize there was a religious minority that was persecuted.
Yeah.
Therefore, we needed to have secularism in America.
or they were immigrants and they were
Yeah. Like they'll try to frame it in those ways, but everybody, it's hard to do that. It's no, they came to this territory that was completely uncivilized, right? And they brought European Christendom to it, and they can never be forgiven for that.
It's so true.
Right. That's this comment is good. What are the 5,000 words about in the second printing of the Boniface Option? Well, that would take me 5,000 words to explain. No, I think some of it is I know I wrote it. Some of it is answering objections. There were a lot of different objections I've gotten to it, and especially since I moved here. Objections that are brought up. It's like, well, you did this, and so how does that play into what you said? Is it inconsistent with what you've written? And which, no, it's not. But so it's answering those things. I think it's also kind of updating things. I mean, I wrote it before the election of 2024, and I don't think anything has fundamentally changed. But there's a tremendous amount of optimism that did not exist, in 2022 when I was writing it. So that is, so there's a lot there, a lot of thoughts. And if I say any more, then no one will buy it and read it. I'll give it all away for free. So we'll move on to.
Before we start this article, did you see the one in the Federalist?
Say that again?
Did you see the article in the Federalist about the English origins of Thanksgiving?
No, I didn't.
Oh, we should read that too. It's really short.
Okay,
we can start with this one, but
this one's not very long either.
Yeah, it's really we should read. That'll be the controversial second half.
This is the other question too. Are you guys going to take forever, like Daryl Cooper, to release your new series repealing the 20th century?
Well, this studio was a prerequisite to that.
Yeah, we had to get in here,
and it took. There was a lot of delays.
A lot went into getting in here,
so
and so we still.
So yes, the answer is yes.
We still have to spruce it up a little bit, but no.
The answer is yes.
The answer is CJ says yes. I say no
because he said it's going to be delayed, like Daryl.
He does like one episode every 9 months. Like it takes it's like a gestation period, for a baby for him to do an episode. We maybe will shorten that to 9 weeks. I don't know. No, we'll be faster than that between episodes, but we really want to make sure it's quality. But because when we first started, we're like, no, we got to kick it up a notch. And it's kind of like writing. Like when I've written before, like books don't come easily. Some people just fire them out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll restart a book like maybe a dozen times. Right? I'll write a few thousand words and be like, this is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
This is so stupid. No one's gonna want to read this. And then I'll just throw it all. I'll just delete. And so it seems like it takes. But then once it gets rolling, then I'm just on fire, and you pound out 40,000 words or 50,000 words. So anyway, we now that we are here in what are we calling this place? We have a special name for it.
The whole thing, or just our recording area?
The recording area.
Not really. No,
we'll come up with a good name. And at the end of the episode today, we have the long-awaited, highly anticipated Turkey of the Year, the Contra Mundum Turkey of the Year 2025. We didn't actually. We were supposed to discuss beforehand.
Who was last year?
This is the first annual.
Really?
I don't think we had one last year.
Are you sure? I think we did.
We maybe did.
It was like Neil Shenby. I think it was like Neil Shenby.
Yes, that's right. It probably was. If it was anybody, it was probably him. He's not gonna. He's not.
No,
you can't be a two-time, consecutive winner.
He didn't earn it either.
Yeah, he didn't.
He was kind of lame this year.
Okay. This is CJ's mom's basement. We're actually upstairs. So not at CJ's mom's house. Because maybe we'll break out some whiskey. Anyway, no, we're not. I'm not drinking alcohol right now.
No, you're not.
I mean, tomorrow it's Thanksgiving, so
you will.
I'm gonna have a little wine, probably. But beyond, other than that, no, I'm very strict macros. So, all right, you have the article?
I do.
All right, let me pull it up as well. And gotta keep the comments. Good questions. Okay. Oh, the old. This is good. Who censored the cover of your book? It was the old cover of the book.
Oh.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. But we want for the hardcover, we wanted something a little different. And so I like the new cover quite a bit. Okay. And let's get this question in. This is an Ask Me Anything day because it's a holiday week. So do we building plans for the church yet?
Who's that from?
From Striker 5573.
Yeah, the building plans they're being architected.
They're being worked on.
We are very blessed to have an architect in our church, and he's doing that. And then it's just, I mean, so we already are doing the courtyard first. The wall and the fire pit and all that stuff. And then hopefully next year we'll get started on the building.
That's the plan.
It takes a lot more money than you'd think. Maybe it
Yeah.
doesn't, but it takes a lot.
It does. I mean, most people don't realize that it's not like building a house. And building a house is not cheap.
And we're doing it. We're going to do a nice quality classical church. I mean, it's not going to be a Pizza Hut.
No, it's not going to be a Pizza Hut church. It's not, not quite going to be a cathedral either yet.
Yeah.
That we'd like to long term.
It's going to be, very expensive too. Thankfully, we have some people that are wanting to help. So
yeah, it's great.
Lots of prayer. It'll happen.
Yeah, be praying for us in our church, guys. So this article, it is entitled "The Shrinking Holiday," subtitle: "A Victim of Demographic Change." Every November, something strange happens on the American calendar. In some neighborhoods, the jack-o'-lanterns barely cool before Christmas wreaths appear. In others, the turkey is still roasting while neighbors who never learned the Pilgrim story scroll past the holiday on their phones, grateful only for the long weekend. Christmas sales occupy their minds. The numbers tell one part of the tale. Halloween spending has exploded to $13 billion. While the average Thanksgiving dinner has quietly become the cheapest in years, not because we are flush with cash, but because fewer people feel the tug to gather at all. The deeper shift is demographic. The America that once paused almost reverently to retell a 400-year-old tale of a meal between English settlers and Indian guests is now home to millions for whom that story is meaningless.
Oh, it's painful to read.
It is, but true. Thanksgiving, more than any other holiday, depends on shared memory. When the memory thins, the holiday thins with it. Halloween never asked for a memory. It arrived with Irish immigrants in the 1840s, carrying lanterns, and it has been reinventing itself ever since. It's always had a pagan element. Yeah, it's kind of true, or at least folk religion. Yeah. It thrives on the new, the now, the pop culture reference that needs no footnotes. It's also a consumer holiday, and consumption is modern American culture.
Mm.
The average spender dropped over $100 on costumes, candy, and decor in 2025. Retailers now speak openly of Summerween. Michaels rolled out its Halloween collection in June, and Google searches for the term jumped nearly 2,900% year over year. The holiday has no sacred origin to defend, no obligation to sit still for a history lesson. The lightness is its superpower. This fits perfectly with our polyglot society. New arrivals from Guadalajara, Mumbai, Lagos, or Shenzhen can step into it instantly. A Spider-Man suit or zombie face paint requires no cultural literacy test. Halloween is the perfect immigrant holiday because it immigrated so successfully itself.
Just picturing all of Vivek's posts. I can't wait to see him in a Puritan hat tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll see if that happens. Oh, we lost our camera. We've gone dark.
Gary said he'll be back once we get into the new studio.
Okay, Gary, come on, Gary. Where are you at? There we go.
All
okay. Thanksgiving, however, compared to Halloween, is the opposite. It is a story, a narrative stitched together from elementary school pageants and Norman Rockwell paintings. For it to work, someone at the table has to believe, or at least pretend to believe, that the Pilgrims and Squanto's crew broke bread in friendship, that the meal mattered enough to repeat every fourth Thursday in November. When I was a child, every classroom had construction paper feathers and buckles. Yes, and we also made, you took your hand and you outlined it and you made a little turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Today, many teachers are careful with that history unit, wary of the complicated truths that the old myth papered over. Some do go woke, but hopefully there's a classroom troll asking how Squanto knew conversational English if the Pilgrims were the first settlers. Even when the story is
That
told,
was you, huh?
yeah, that was totally me. Even when the story is told honestly, it lands differently in a country where we have unknown tens of millions of illegals. 1 in 7 residents is foreign born, and millions more are their children. Consider the numbers behind the new America. Between 1990 and 2023, the foreign-born population grew from 20 million to 46 million, and its estimates for 2025 push it closer to 50 million. And their U.S.-born children, add their U.S.-born children, you approach 100 million people whose family stories do not trace back to Plymouth Rock. They don't even trace back to the birth of rock and roll. For many, Thanksgiving is simply the Thursday off before Black Friday. This isn't hyperbole. A recent Pew poll found that only half of Hispanic adults and less than half of Asian adults considered Thanksgiving one of the most important holidays, compared to 70% of white adults and Black adults. Right? That's interesting, the grouping.
Well, it's Heritage America.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, okay, it's like Thanksgiving, like literally is the litmus test.
Yeah,
Right. What do you think about Thanksgiving?
it is. It's a good point.
Like, you like it? It's your holiday. You have some participation in it, like tradition and so forth. You're an American. All right. You don't care about it at all. It's not really that important. It's just a day off. Not an American.
Yep.
Right. Paper American. Continuing on here. The gap is not about ingratitude. It's about resonance.
Mhm.
Exactly. And that's an important point as well. We see politicians online or in the news celebrate holidays Americans had no clue existed. Diwali, Lunar New Year, Eid al-Fitr. I can't even pronounce it.
Star Wars holidays.
And Dia de los Muertos carry emotional weight. Do you like my pronunciation there?
I
Is that
did,
pretty good?
yes.
Carry emotional weight for the new arrivals because their grandparents lit the lamp, steamed the rice cakes, slaughtered the goat, built the altar. Thanksgiving, for many newer Americans, is a borrowed ritual with no ancestral echo. This is not a lament for lost purity. Cultures have always borrowed and discarded. What is striking is how quickly the borrowing has reversed. Where Thanksgiving once tried to Americanize immigrants by seeing them at a common table, the new demographic reality is quietly un-Americanized Thanksgiving. The meal still happens, but the story grows faint. A little clue is in the meal itself. Turkey consumption per capita has slipped to the lowest in decades. Cutting back is not a budget thing, as it's maybe a $10 or $20 difference. Proof? The same American households that skipped the second helping of stuffing spent $33 on 4-foot animated skeletons that sing sweet dreams in a demon voice.
Let me say something about
Fact check true.
let me say something about the turkey. Because a lot of what you get online, like when I posted my Thanksgiving tweet, my turkey tweet, all these, location check, India, all of them were like, turkey's not even good. Doesn't even taste good. Why would you have it?
Yeah.
The point of the turkey is not that it's your favorite meat.
Exactly.
It's that it's our traditional meat during this holiday.
On this holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, you don't eat prime rib. You don't eat.
Like prime rib is my favorite meat,
Yeah.
but I don't eat it on Thanksgiving because that's
No,
not
of
what
course,
you
it's
do.
absurd.
Yeah.
We eat meat on it.
We
Like,
eat turkey on it.
I don't know what they eat on Diwali.
Yeah.
But be like, yeah, I want prime rib for Diwali, right?
Probably eat like rice or something with their hand.
They're allowed to eat cows.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I eat prime rib on Diwali. That's
I
for
eat
sure.
prime rib on Diwali too. Next
We should make that a
next
thing.
Diwali,
We should
we
do
should
that.
just eat
We
lots
should-
of just
We should do that.
all the beef we can eat.
New thing. Everybody do it.
And then Eid al-Fitr, we should have some pulled pork and some ribs and some bacon.
We should.
I don't even know when those holidays are. I'd have to Google it.
Mm.
But I mean, this point too is like, yeah, they don't. It's not as though like it's a budget thing or a money thing, because more money is being spent on Halloween
Mhm.
per capita and like for the median family than
And turkey's
is spent
actually
on
not that
Halloween.
expensive.
No, it's not. It's a very,
No.
I mean, but it's like you're buying so much. You're buying a 15 or 20 pound bird, and like you need a lot of people gathered together to make that worthwhile,
Yeah.
right?
Well, but exactly. It has nothing to do with money.
No, I mean, like people don't get together. That's the that's the other thing. Like,
Mhm.
and it gets into this.
Yeah.
Fred Watson is the author's name, by the way, because I don't think I said it yet. So again, Christmas too, right? Picking up where we left off, Christmas too has adapted to the new arrivals, but in a different way. It absorbed immigrants decades ago due to secularization and the focus on the consumer side. Its religious core has become optional. Happy holidays, happy holidays. The secular version travels light. Retailers have simply moved the starting line earlier each year so that by mid-October, the same aisles that sold witch cauldrons now overflow with artificial trees. Home Depot's Christmas launch began in August, right beside the 12-foot skeletons. The effect is a long, blurred season of consumption that swallows November whole. Thanksgiving, stuck in the middle with its pleas for reflection
Mhm.
and remembrance, gets trampled.
Do you think a lot of that too is because, like, I mean, he mentioned consumption is American culture, but consumption is actually American liturgy. And do you
Mhm.
think that, like, just that need to hit Q4 targets on the balance sheet is a lot of this too?
Yes, I think so. That I mean, quarter four is you're making up for all the last time and
Mhm.
quarters 1 through 3.
Like, it's too, like, you're not going to please your shareholders if you celebrate Thanksgiving.
And it's like the big month for, I mean, or the big quarter for consumption in general,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
everything is
every
built
day
around
matters.
quarter four.
I mean, Thanksgiving, therefore, is a very expensive
Yeah.
situation, because if you're dedicating aisle space to Thanksgiving instead of Christmas, you're going to lose money.
Yeah, that's right. So none of this means immigrants dislike turkey or gratitude, although CJ's point says otherwise.
No, but his point is
But his
right.
point's right. Many happily adopt the day off, the football and the sales, but adoption is this not the same as ownership. When a holiday's emotional center is a specific historical moment, and that moment grows demographically distant, the holiday becomes a civic suggestion rather than a cultural command. We see the evidence in small erosions. There are fewer families attempting the full from scratch meal, more friendsgivings that feel like dinner parties with a turkey cameo, more Instagram stories of orphan Thanksgiving for those whose real families are in another hemisphere. Halloween asks nothing of history. It's pure performance, and with the adult takeover, it can be a child-free masquerade that levels the field. A child from Bangalore and a child from Peoria can both be bluey for a night and feel equally at home. Halloween and Christmas only require a literal buy-in. Thanksgiving, tethered to a story that fewer people inherited, shrinks to a long weekend and football. The calendar is revealing a truth we rarely say aloud. Some holidays adjust better than others in a nation of newcomers. The ones that demand a shared past struggle when the past is no longer widely shared. The ones that demand only a shared present, preferably one that can be purchased in bright orange and black plastic, explode. This is not the death of Thanksgiving. People will still eat and watch the Macy's parade, but it is the quiet transformation of a foundational ritual into something optional, like President's Day, but with pie.
Hmm.
Yeah, the cops are going after turkey disrespecters. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. Perhaps that is fine. Perhaps a country of 400 million people stitched together from everywhere needs holidays that belong to everyone immediately rather than holidays that require a lifetime of enculturation. That is doubtful. It changes and will continue to change. Progressives have yet to come up with a new spin on it than to disseminate then disseminate to their NPC followers. The holiday is not dead; it is molting. Whether what emerges still deserves the name Thanksgiving or simply becomes the Thursday before the real party starts depends on whether we decide some stories are worth teaching, even when no one's grandmother lived them. For now, the jack-o'-lanterns burn brighter than the candles of gratitude, and the Christmas lights switch on before the leftovers are wrapped. The calendar is voted with its dollars and its demographics.
Mm-hmm.
In the new America, the holidays that ask the least of our past are the ones that own our future.
It's sad.
It's very sad.
It is sad. I would say that like, that's something that I've become more self-aware of. My wife and I is really pushing hard on, like, the Mayflower ethos right
That's
now.
right.
I mean, my kids are homeschooled, so are yours. We've been doing the cutout hats and
Yeah.
the feathers, and because, like, it's like these are residues from a past, and most people don't seem to care or do them, but they're very important. These are the things that keep America alive. It's like a little flicker.
Well, I think like 4th of July is very much the same thing. Very similar thing.
But what
4th of
happens,
July
so it's the
and-
same thing with 4th of July. So in 4th of July, they're universalizing liberty.
That's right.
Whereas 4th of July, what it's actually about is the American people separating from Britain. That's specifically what it's about. It's not about a general feeling of freedom.
Yeah.
It's about specifically what the colonies went through.
That's right.
And it's the same thing with Thanksgiving. It's not about a general spirit of gratitude.
Yeah.
It's about specifically what our Protestant forebearers went through in that 17th century situation.
That's right.
That's what it's about. And so how could someone from foreign land appreciate or connect with the experience of William Bradford?
Well, yeah,
it makes no sense.
It's like it is like if 100 million Americans ended up in South Asia, like we would not have any connection to Diwali or any of their other
That's
holidays.
what ticks me off about the Oval Office hosting Diwali stuff.
It's
outrageous.
That is not our holiday. It's not American. It is not. It's there. It's theirs. It's not ours, right? And it's like it's fine that it's theirs, right? Even like my obvious religious disagreements with it, right? And like I would never celebrate it myself, but like
it doesn't offend you that they do it over there.
Yeah, it's like that. Of course they would.
Yeah,
right. And the offensive thing is that is just the multicultural ethos, right? That I am supposed to, like tacitly celebrate this holiday, right? That is, we gotta line the cameras up a little bit better. I'm really dark over here. We gotta figure out some lights. Gary 17.
Dark.
But yeah, that is. And so I guess the question, reading this and reflecting on Thanksgiving and our contemporary cultural situation, right? Like, what is the way forward? Right. And I mean, I think
it's like that meme where there's all these problems. Answer: deport.
Well, yeah.
Deport.
I mean, besides 100 million deportations, like, what is the way forward? Right. Say, I'm not going to black pill here, CJ, but say we don't get 100 million deportations. Say that doesn't happen. Say we get, maybe 10 million illegals gone.
Mm-hmm. Well,
right? Which I think is probably like the most likely scenario. We 10 million to get deported, and 90 million foreigners and their misinterpretation of the 14th
I think
Amendment
more could be deported.
citizens.
I think 50 will be deported.
You think 50? I mean,
in the next 50 years,
if the Supreme Court rules that birthright citizenship is not a constitutional right,
no, because it'd have to be a retroactive.
But and I don't think they would do it.
I'm talking about a half century of right wing ascendancy.
Yeah,
do you have any idea how radical the ascendant right wing is?
Oh, it makes us look like liberals.
Yes,
right? It makes us look like James Lindsay over here. And I get that. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. Is like the 100 million or so would like self-deport, right? Even if they have paper, misreading of the 14th Amendment citizenship, right? Like, I don't want to be here, right? Like that's okay, good.
But yeah, what do you do? So that's the question. I mean, I would say on one hand, there's what you do in the home. You need to be like Thanksgiving maxing in the traditional sense. Like every memory that you have, you need to exaggerate it within your own home. That's very powerful because that shapes and molds the minds of the next generation. And that shaping and molding at the internal level is more powerful than facts and logic.
Oh yeah.
And
absolutely.
like, so if you want to recover Thanksgiving, you have to build it into their entire ethos at a spiritual level.
I think also, I put out a sarcastic tweet. Like my wife had put up some of the Christmas decorations, like 2 weeks ago. And I tweeted, I came home and I saw it and I tore it all down. And it was mostly like dozens of replies, mostly from like women that were outraged. Like, she did all that work and now you took. It's like, I didn't actually.
Did you see the meme that someone put Hulk Hogan in response to your tweet? They put a picture of the Hulk Hogan in the hot tub, but it had a Puritan hat on.
I didn't see that one. Yeah, I did, brother.
Thanksgiving, brother.
Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, brother. But yeah, man, like it is like you have to resist that too. And I mean, part of it too is like understanding Halloween and Christmas in this frame that these are, consumerist holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Christmas. Like, I love
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. And so I think like making Christmas, I mean, for one, like not actually celebrating Christmas qua Christmas until Christmas and maintaining Advent, right? Keeping Advent,
Mm-hmm.
right? That I think changed that. So, I mean, does that mean you don't put up like, green, garland in your house until December 25th? No, that's not what I'm saying. But make the 4 weeks before Christmas Advent,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't start until, this Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, leading into the Christian year and leading into
So we have
traditional
solutions
American
for the
holidays.
family in the home. You have some solutions for the church, and maybe the church can participate in that recovery too by actually leaning into the church year. What about local governments? I mean, like as conservatives get more involved, right wing gets more involved in local governments. Like to what extent should government and politics play a role in this Thanksgiving recovery?
No, I mean, like Thanksgiving. I mean,
a Thanksgiving prayer would be a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like Thanksgiving itself is celebrated as a holiday in America because the president of the United States declared it.
Yeah.
Right, like George Washington, then Lincoln.
And they were thankful to the God of the Bible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh my goodness.
They were
And
not religiously
people
neutral.
freak out about that. It's like, church and state. That it's like, no, you could do that, actually. We have a long tradition of
We
that.
have a long tradition of that.
Right. Our most honored presidents, and people are going to be angry about Lincoln, but like our most honored presidents did that.
Mm-hmm.
And no one cared until the middle of the 20th century when everything got gay. Right. That, like, think about that. Like that. And that's how you should look at all of history. When someone asked about the repealing the 20th century, it's like, weird. Like from like 1950 or 60 on, everything just progressively got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, it was really the 70s. I mean, even in the 50s and 60s, they were doing like prayers.
Like, 1973 is the pivotal year.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they got rid of
the 60s.
They got rid of Nixon, man, and that's everything.
Yeah. You should read. We want to read that other article in the Federalist.
Yeah. I think we definitely should.
All right, I'll read it. So this one was written by John Davidson. Follows us on Twitter.
Oh, then he's awesome.
After winning the New York
Unless
City,
it's a hate follow.
No, it's a.
Okay.
He's our guy.
No.
After I'm done with this, you'll get it. Actually, let me read the title. Ready? This is in the Federalist. This is not, this isn't right stuff. The Pilgrims were English ethno-nationalists.
Whoa.
Subtitle.
Whoa,
In the Federalist, I know.
Whoa.
Subtitle: America wasn't founded by immigrants, but by English settlers who carried their culture across the Atlantic and established a new nation.
Well.
After winning the New York City mayoral election earlier this month, Mamdani declared New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant, unquote. It's become commonplace among liberals to say things like this. They have gone far beyond the "we're a nation of immigrants" trope, such that we now routinely hear assertions that America was founded by immigrants or America was built by immigrants.
Does he bring up Ilhan Omar saying, or the people saying like they're integral to America? They're part.
No,
of
he
the,
doesn't
part of
say
the
that.
fabric
Yeah.
of America since the beginning.
Yeah, they're the core part.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, who could forget Shamark Abdi?
The thing
Mohammed
is, though,
on the
like
Mayflower?
if we don't fight back, like
people will believe
in two
this
generations, they'll
Yeah.
just completely believe it.
No, like that's the thing. It's absurd to us, and
Yeah.
we can laugh about it, but like they repeat these lies
Well,
enough that
yeah.
people believe it.
Our great grandchildren will be saying, "No, it was from English settlers," and be like, "What are you talking about? That's stupid."
No, because I mean, I always bring this up. Like for 100 years, school children in the Soviet Union believed every great like modern invention,
Yeah.
was made by a Russian
Yeah.
or someone
It's
in the
crazy.
Soviet Union. Like the airplane, the light bulb, the telephone, all invented by Russians.
Mhm.
Like there, you will find Russians today
Yeah.
that if you talk to them and say, "Hey, who invented the airplane?" They'll be like, Mikhail Mikhailovich. I'm sounding like more Norm Macdonald telling them off, but of course it was Mikhail Mikhailovich.
Yeah.
That it, like
They
that
really
was the Wright
believe it.
brothers.
Yeah.
Like no, you have no idea what you're talking about. It was a Russian. Like
Yeah. They really believe it.
That's the way our history is done today,
Mhm.
right? They think people think like no, like history it's fact. You can read it in a book. Like let me look at the chick who was like, did you realize that the American Constitution was based on the Iroquois Confederation? My high school history book said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like read a book, man. And it's like they believe this stuff. This
No,
utter
they
bunk.
do. Oklahoma just passed a law that said public schools teachers were allowed to teach that Christianity played a role in America. And people are like, separation of church and state, that's insane. And I'm like, literally,
Like that's a fact, though.
well, but not only is it a fact, but all public school curriculum taught that since the beginning.
It did when I was a kid.
Yes.
And it's like now we have to believe that Ilhan Omar's kin founded
it's
America.
Nuts. Anyways, but of course, the truth is quite nearly the opposite. America was actually founded and built by 17th century English colonists and settlers who, arriving in a largely depopulated wilderness, were so anxious about retaining their English cultural identity and folkways, it would not be too much to call them ethno-nationalists.
Ooh.
This is not V-Dare. This is the Federalist.
I was going to say, whoa.
This is especially true of the English colonists we most associate with Thanksgiving, the Puritans of New England, or Pilgrims. For decades now, American school children have been given a potted history of the Pilgrims and our early colonial history that goes something like this. Seeking the freedom to worship God according to their conscience, the Pilgrims fled religious persecution in England and landed at Plymouth, Massachusetts, almost perishing that first hard winter. But the local natives helped them. Squanto, the friendly Indian, taught them how to plant corn, and in the fall of 1621, the Pilgrims and the Indians celebrated a great feast of friendship. It's not that this narrative is untrue exactly, it's just incomplete. By the time the Puritans decided to sail for the New World in 1620, they had already fled religious persecution in England a decade earlier and secured religious freedom in the Netherlands. Once it became clear that King James I was going to continue Queen Elizabeth's policy of religious persecution of Puritans and other separatists, a group of English Puritans from Anglia moved to Holland in 1608, settling in the city of Leiden the next year. Leiden was then a growing industrial center where the Puritans were able to support themselves and worship free from persecution. But after a decade in Leiden, they began to fear that their situation in Holland was untenable. In addition to economic and political concerns, there was growing anxiety about retaining their English identity and religious traditions in a foreign land. William Bradford, a founder of the Plymouth colony who sailed in the Mayflower, wrote about the greatest licentiousness of youth in Holland and decried the evil examples and manifold temptations of the place. Nathaniel Philbrook, author of the 2006 bestseller on the Pilgrims Mayflower, has said, their biggest concern after a decade in this foreign land was that their children were becoming Dutch. In addition to losing their Puritan religion, they were afraid that they would also gradually lose their English culture. In other words, the point here is that the American founding was not about deracinated individuals who were coming to start from scratch. It was about Puritans, religious zealots in many ways, who were dogmatic about not only their religion, but also their English identity and their culture and their way of life. They were very much Christian nationalists in that sense.
Yeah,
I'll continue.
They were.
So the Pilgrims did not sail to America in search of religious liberty, but in search of something more. Edward Winslow, also a founder of the Plymouth colony, wrote that God had given them much peace and liberty in Leiden. They hoped to find the like liberty in the New World. The like liberty they sought was not simply freedom from religious persecution, which they had secured in Holland, but liberty in a place where they could be fully Puritan and fully English and pass their religious and cultural ways on to their posterity. This they did with gusto once they were established in New England. The Puritans were not just English, they were self-consciously English, hyper-English even. As the historian David Hackett Fisher explains in his magisterial 1989 book, Albion Seed, the Puritan fathers of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, being separated from their English homeland by a vast ocean, feared what Cotton Mather called Cryolian degeneracy, a mood of cultural anxiety persisted in Massachusetts, where the Puritan colonists, fearing the loss of their identity, preserved the folkways of the mother country and in some cases modified or exaggerated them in accordance with Puritan beliefs. For centuries after their arrival in America, they referred to themselves simply as the English. Fisher writes, change of any sort seemed to be cultural disintegration. In consequence, the founders of Massachusetts and their descendants for many generations tended to cling to the cultural baggage which they had carried out of England. This mood of cultural conservatism created a curious paradox in colonial history. New settlements tended to remain remarkably old-fashioned in their folkways. They missed the new fads and customs that appeared in the mother country after they were planted. This is really important. A lot of changes were happening in England and in Britain at large, but they were so zealously English in the New World that they were actually more traditional and conservative as Englishmen.
Right.
They were not like a post-nationalist people. They were self-consciously English in a much more stringent way because what I just talked about, being zealous about applying their Englishness within their home. Their customs needed to be fostered and even exaggerated in the American New World. So it was actually more English than England is kind of what he's saying. In everything from how they dressed, spoke, recreated, engaged in economic activity, and even how they laid out their villages and settlements, the Puritans of New England reflected not merely English folkways and practices, but specifically those of East Anglia, whence most of the Puritans came in the Great Migration of the 1630s. I don't know if we need to finish this, but like the point is that these Puritans, Thanksgiving itself is English specifically.
That's right.
And this is one of the characteristics of American assimilation is you have to connect yourself and share in that ethos and that memory of Puritanism. Now, you and I have talked a lot about theology over the years, and we're not, we have our some disagreements with like the Puritan religious framework, but nevertheless, it's part of who we are.
That's right.
And I think as Americans, it's important for us to remember that and even pass it on.
No, absolutely. Like honoring the Puritan heritage of America is part and parcel with being in America.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a point that Watson made in the previous article, right? That new arrivals to America throughout our history, right? They participated in that.
Yeah.
Right? And we're expected to, right? The cultural expectation was that you would participate in this holiday that we celebrate.
Yeah.
Right. Even if you're Irish and Catholic and you're very not English and very not Protestant. Right?
In other words, to assimilate in the American context is not to believe in this abstract theoretical liberty. To assimilate is to absorb yourself into that Anglo-Protestant ethos.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
And most people, to be frank, around the world cannot do that.
No. And I mean, I, in the same way that I could not become an East Indian, right? Like I couldn't.
No.
I can't. I mean, just even, I saw an interesting post about I think it was like Dago supremacy. You know that account?
Yeah, of course.
He was just talking about how he was teaching in a college business class, and a bunch of his class were Indian students, and they have a very different way of thinking.
Yeah.
There, and so he's trying to deal with, okay, you have conflict with an employee. Here's how you manage it. Here's how you should go about managing it. And the guy's just like, no, fire him and get somebody else. Right. With like, even like minor things.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, there's a dispute about pay, or there's, they want some time off, or they want different hours, or oh, fire him and get somebody else. And like, they have no ability. This is what he said. And I think probably right. Like they have no ability to think the second and third order effects of operating that way. Like the first order effect is, you get somebody else who's more compliant. That's good, well and fine. But like, then you are going to have as a business owner or a manager, like you're going to have a reputation as somebody that just has high turnover, churns through people, and nobody's going to want to work for you. Right. But you don't think this of the second and third order effect. You're thinking of the thing right now in front of you. And so there's no ability to manage conflict. It's it's very brutal, and you don't do what I want, you're gone. I'll replace you, find somebody else. And so he was commenting on like Vivek, right, and his idea of like year-round school and things like that. And it's like, no, you're not thinking of the secondary and tertiary effects of something like that. You're thinking of the immediate, this would be better because it'd be free childcare for everyone and things like that.
That's stupid. Yeah.
And you'll, more teaching time, so kids will be smarter. And it's like, well, no, that's
a lot of these like GOP Indians like have this total like bureaucratic
keep
mind.
touching the mic, and I'll fix the mic. I'm sorry, culture dweeb.
Let me read this next paragraph because he comments on the first Thanksgiving now. As for the first Thanksgiving, which by 1676 had become an annual domestic festival in New England, it wasn't quite the live and let live multicultural event that we are taught about in school. As I mentioned above, when the Puritans landed at Plymouth in 1620, they discovered a mostly depopulated wilderness. The native Wampanoag people of coastal New England had been reduced by the spread of infectious diseases in the preceding 4 years by about 90%, from some 20,000 subjects to about 1,000. Their leader, Massasoit, made an alliance with the Plymouth colonists out of necessity, as the Indians were too few to resist the hostile other tribes to the west and needed an alliance with the newly arrived pilgrims. That alliance lasted for a half century, but during those decades, there was no assimilation of the Puritans to the Indian ways, or even to the folkways of other British colonists that settled other regions of the Atlantic seaboard. The Puritans were jealous of their East Anglian customs and culture, and they preserved them for centuries. In light of all this, we should, of course, reject the liberal claim that America was founded by immigrants. But we should also reject the claim increasingly heard on the right that America is a creedal nation, not a people, but a set of abstract ideas that anyone from any part of the world can simply adopt and become American. That is not how the Puritans of New England or the Cavaliers of Virginia or the Quakers of Pennsylvania understood themselves and their errand in the wilderness. They did not come here as immigrants, but as Englishmen. And the societies they built were self-consciously, exaggeratively English. The immigrants who arrived later assimilated into a thoroughly English mainstream culture and society that had been modified to the exigencies of life in the New World, and that in time would be called American. So there's this pushback in the conservative world, and I'm thankful for the Federalists picking up on this, that we need to reject both the melting pot vision of America, but also the creedal nation framework of America.
Proposition nationhood. Yeah.
It's not accurate.
No.
And it's not honoring to our Thanksgiving history to treat it like that.
Or just like our historical memory, period. Like that, that's not the way that it was, right? That this understanding of American identity, if you even want to call it that, is something from the 1960s and 70s and afterward.
Yeah. Even the conservative movement adopts that.
Even the conservative version of it is just, well, we want to keep the.
We want to stay true to MLK's original vision.
That's right. Yeah. We want to keep freedom of religion and freedom of speech and the right to bear arms and all of those things. And it's like, those are not just like abstract ideas that fell out of the sky, right? Those came from a particular people, right? You could and this has been tried, you try. I mean, this is the craziest thing. I don't know if you saw any of the Tim Pool, Joel Berry, Oren McIntyre thing. I saw just a
couple clips. Yeah.
But it's like you would think someone that went and fought in Iraq, where we tried to download the U.S. Constitution into a bunch of Arabs, and it predictably failed, would learn that lesson. Is Arabs are different than Americans. They're not the same people. They're not going to have the same beliefs, the same way of life, the same culture, the same anything that can produce what America is. Right? It's the people that make a place. Right? I mean, there was a video, in the last couple of days after the Somali fraud and Trump's, ending TPS for them and everything of some Somali account putting this video out there of Somalia. And it's like, wow, I was actually struck. It really
I
is
mean,
a
the
beautiful,
natural beauty. Yeah.
yeah, isn't it? It's
pretty.
very beautiful country.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They couldn't do anything with it.
why is it the worst country on the planet?
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Like that's a beautiful country. Like you would think Somalis would want to live there and not here, not in Minnesota where it's 20 below zero half the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Why would they want to live there with beautiful beaches and forests and all of that? Like, well, they can't because like their people made hell on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, it goes back all the way to like Trump talking about, it's a family show, so I can't use the same terminology that he did, but, S-hole nations, right? Remember that from his first term?
Mm-hmm.
And people freaking out about that. He's talking about like Haiti and Somalia and places like the worst places on planet Earth. It's like, we don't want people coming from there. And of course he's like, right. We don't. Because he understands, and it's a forbidden idea to have, but those places are the way they are, not because of the geography.
Right.
It's
not the resources.
It's the people.
It's the people.
It's the people that make those places. Yeah. And you bring them here, like one or handful of people, okay. You bring them en masse, thousands, tens of thousands, all to form enclaves. Here, you produce new little hells on earth in America.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like it's crazy. Like Springfield, Ohio turned into a little Port-au-Prince. Right. It didn't, the diversity didn't make Springfield, Ohio like this paradise. It made it way worse. It made it horrible to live there. And I mean, the same thing has happened in many, like Rochester, Minnesota. My aunt lived there. She was a nurse there in the Mayo Health System. And we'd go there often. It was about an hour from where I grew up. Beautiful mid-sized city. I mean, wonderful place. Mm-hmm. Wonderful place. Now it is awful.
Yeah.
Like that's the city where the Shiloh Hendricks thing, happened. Who is being prosecuted for
that's nuts for saying a word,
saying the word of power to a child stealing from her bag. Yeah. Rifling through her bag. Right. Nothing happens to the person attempting to steal, right, who is not a 5-year-old autistic child, as it turns out. It was actually like a much older child with adults supposedly supervising. But yeah, like it's and like you're not, and it's not even like a question of like, well, we just don't like, we're xenophobic and we don't like foreign people. It's that like they're not going to like. It's going to take 10 generations, 20 generations. Who knows how much time for them to be enculturated to the point that they can adopt it. And it's not possible.
It's not possible. No, because in the meantime, they're going to undermine the actual society that they're trying to benefit from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the fraud. I mean, when you have that level of fraud, you can't, Minneapolis is not going to recover from that.
No, I mean, like, what is it? $500 million, $750 million of fraud, and it's not like the state budget is,
and that's not even like that's not even like the autism fraud, right? That's different.
Well, it's the fraud.
Was it the same thing?
It's the food fraud. It's the autism fraud.
Was that part of the exposure? Was the autism stuff?
It's like that's the stuff that's been caught,
right? Yeah.
Who knows how much has gone on that hasn't been.
And that's just the stuff that's in Minneapolis. But like what we realize is that in every major city center, like you think that's bad, wait till you find out what's going on in California and San Francisco.
Yeah, and it's like it isn't just like
Nashville.
Okay,
Memphis.
On one hand, like that's the fraud. Like that's the like we are taking stuff that like legally we're not entitled to, right? But then like you look at it's just like the question of illegal immigration versus legal immigration. Right, you peel back the layer of that onion. It's like all the stuff that they are legally entitled to is billions and billions of dollars of housing, of healthcare, of food, of everything. It's like we exist to feed them and clothe them and pay for their existence. Right,
we're a tax farm.
Like.
America is a tax farm.
Even at like the heights, and like we're critical of like Ellis Island immigration, or at least I am. But it's like even there, like if you were a risk of being on the public dole, you wouldn't even be let
Oh,
in
I have a good thread on that.
and if you came in and you went on the dole, you'd be deported.
Did you know that only 1/3 of Ellis Islanders were accepted?
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that at all.
And
So 2/3 are sent back.
and
Get back on that ship and get out of here.
no, I'm sorry, 1/3 was sent back.
Okay.
Nevertheless, it was also I'm
Still a
actually
massive number.
I have a thread I'm going to publish on it today, but it'll get into the numbers. But they were turning them away for diseases, physical deformities,
Yeah.
alleged to be anti-Protestant. Like they're like they had religious tests.
That really flies in the face of the old Emma Lazarus poem, doesn't it?
It does. It
Give me your
completely
poor, your
contradicts
refuse,
it.
blah,
Yes.
blah, blah. You know, like, no, actually,
People
we don't
say-
want them.
People say, I thought America was about, the poems. Like, no, actually, I had nothing to do with the poem. And even during that time, they would have laughed in your face if you suggested that was policy.
All right, I'm getting closer to the mic. Sorry, this is a different setup, so thank you.
What?
Oh,
ad.
yeah, ad.
Oh,
Thank you, Gary 17. We do have to do an ad, but before we break for an ad, we do need to continue this thread on, or maybe we'll do it after we get back from the
What thread?
Just the thread of.
I thought this was a Thanksgiving episode.
It is of America and what everyone implicitly understood America was prior to the remaking of America after like 1965.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we should continue on that.
Yeah. All right.
CJ gripping that microphone like it's a 44-ounce gas station slushy. He loves gas stations.
Look at this.
Oh yeah. Here, while we're in break, I'm going to fix CJ's mic and I'm going to stay closer to my mic. But before we break for the ad, we will. We should introduce it a little bit.
What?
Right? We just always just go cold right into the ad. We should introduce it. So Joe Garrissey, Backward Planning Financial. Right? Tell the people about him.
Well, okay. Well, the ad explains him.
All right.
I know him personally. He's a financial planner.
They're
I
great.
think he's a military guy too.
He
is.
indeed was.
He
was. I don't think he's still
he's not.
out there doing it.
He's not doing it. But he's a good guy. Patriot.
All right, let's go.
This is Dave. Dave is dead. When he wasn't, he was a successful businessman with a rather large estate. This is Ben. As Dave's son, Ben has just inherited a logistical nightmare. Dave wasn't exactly organized with his estate. Sorting through folders, receipts, and records, a hunting lodge in Montana, a 401k, lots of investments, several bank accounts, and of course, taxes. Ben was overwhelmed. Enter Joe Garrissey of Backwards Planning Financial. When Ben called Joe and explained everything, Joe replied,
"No problem. That's easy."
and somehow it was. With Joe's guidance, Ben was able to put a robust financial plan in place which helped mitigate risk and bring order to the chaos, while building wealth, organizing his estate, easing the tax burdens, and cutting unnecessary costs. He helped Ben do something Dave never did: plan ahead. Starting at the end and working backwards, Ben now has a plan for his own family. Now his kids won't go through what he did when he eventually... Backwards Planning Financial. Start planning for your death before you're gone.
All right, you're not planning on dying anytime soon, are you, CJ?
No plans
But you should be planning
on.
like you will.
Oh, all right.
Give Joe a call.
That was good.
All right. I think we got the mic situation straightened out here. But yeah, I mean this article is this is wild. That
Yeah.
they but it's like these are just facts. This is the way it was. This is how they thought. This is how Americans thought about it before 1965.
Connect to the two articles that we have to better understand American founding. And once we do, and once we understand what the real Thanksgiving was about, we can understand why messing with that demographic soil is what's disappearing Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And like, so these are very connected. Like you can't really appreciate Thanksgiving if you don't understand where we came from. because Thanksgiving is not this universalistic abstract thing.
Well, I think like how he began in the introduction, where he's talking about Mamdani and his election. I think that is a pretty radical wake up call for a lot of people, that you import millions of people with absolutely no connection to American history, heritage, culture, way of life. And what do? They elect a third world communist, right? Well, of course they would, right? Why wouldn't they? And that's the future for America unless things change drastically
And quickly.
and this potential future for America is going to happen because we are ashamed to like state the obvious that like peoples are different, that America is a distinct people and place, and it's not the entire, like not all 8 billion people on planet Earth can become Americans, right? You have a distinct part in this, right? Because you were American, right? You're not something else. And some people are capable of assimilating to it and some people are not. And that's something that was always understood.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even just like understood. It was like, you didn't even have to think and you got it. Like nobody had to like make an argument for it. They knew it implicitly.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's just so obvious that they didn't actually like need to like explicitly lay it out.
Yeah, make a bunch of arguments.
So then
and
people will
facts
say
and
like,
logic.
where does the Constitution say that you can't have Somali immigrants?
Yeah, and it's like
It would have been absurd to them.
yeah. And it's like, where does the Constitution say you can't trans children?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson would have like had you immediately executed. if
Yeah.
you suggested that.
Yeah.
Right? Like Reed, I found your passage. I was in the Cookeville Public Library the other day, and don't ask me why, but went in there. I my son was at a reading lesson, learning to read. We got some private help, teach him to read. Right? Not that reading's that important, but anyway, it is. I kid, and so while he's in the lesson, I'm just kind of wandering around, and I mean, one, like things are bleak, like in a public library, like 90% of those books should just be binned. Like they're like, it's just like trash fiction and like pop stuff. Like
It's just
I'm trying to find like
slop. It's all slop.
like high quality, or it's like all the stupid garbage political books that get published as a money laundering bribery scam.
Yeah.
And I guess all the public libraries have to buy them. And so like there's not really anything in there that, I mean, I shouldn't say there's not anything there. There's a pretty decent reference section there, but it's like, it's not like, this is not like when you think about like the Carnegies, or was it the Carnegies or the Vanderbilts that built all the libraries?
I think it was Carnegie.
Right. It's like, we want the common people to be able to read, and you think there'd be nothing but like Plato and Aristotle and Shakespeare and things like that on the shelves. And it's stuff that
like,
maybe is like one level above, Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Yeah.
Like that level of garbage, and smut and things like that. And like they had an entire wall of like what's the it's like anime paper. I don't know. I'm not a weeb, so I don't know the
I
terminology.
don't know either.
But it's like anime books, like an entire wall covering the entire library, and like graphic novels and things like that. And it's like,
It's depressing. Yeah.
it was bad. So anyway, but I did find the collected papers of Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, nice.
And so
So
I
you
went-
found my passage.
And I went to the index and I looked for, what suggested the punishment be for sodomy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it's castration.
I love classical
And
liberals.
this is
Classical liberalism,
yeah,
right?
and this is classical liberal.
Yeah.
Like this is like the Jacobin of the revolution. Right? Like this is the most far left guy in the American Revolution. He's like, yeah, definitely we should castrate homosexuals.
Yeah.
Right?
So he didn't have trans rights in his mind.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't
No.
think they did at all. And so anyway, I don't know where I was going with that.
You found it and then you chuckled.
I did. I'm like, there it is. Oh, yeah, it was the DiCaprio.
It's real.
Uh,
CJ wasn't lying.
no, it's very real. I'll go back again and see after this broadcast if they
should,
rip
yeah.
that page out or something. But at any rate, yeah, man, like the American history, and like this period of American history, it's like it's all English. It's all English, and like just even the Constitution and the rights that we have they like people have this perception because of like propositional nationhood and things like that like these rights are just airdropped from the sky. They fall from the heavens, and they're just universal, and everyone just understands them. And it's not that a people makes them.
Yeah.
Right. And so like if you care about gun rights, for example, right, the third worldization of America is going to say goodbye to those. And or if you care about free speech, right? I mean, right now, like there's a bunch of Muslims trying to prosecute someone for eating a bacon sandwich outside a mosque, right? Like, no, like free speech is going to be gone. Yeah, that's right. Free speech is going to be gone as America becomes the third world country. Like those rights are there because Americans made them and created them and defended them and protected them.
Yeah.
Right. They don't care about these things. They don't. And that's why like people are like, oh, we should just, if we just got the left to drop mass migration and we just fought Israel together, then we could have a cold. And it's like, that's so stupid. It is so idiotic. Like the entire point, and this is a point that people have made many, many times. The entire point of the modern left is mass migration, right? You can be total free market capitalist, or you could be a total communist. But as long as you're pro mass migration, you're part of the coalition, right? You can even be anti-gay, but if you're pro mass migration, like Russell Moore, right, you could be part of the coalition, or David French, right? Right. That is it. Like if you understand it as war on, I mean, that's their whole coalition is war on, straight white Christian men. Right. That's it. That's it. They and the biggest part of it is mass migration.
That reminds me. So yesterday afternoon, I talked to a young right-wing guy from Spain, and I'm actually really curious about like the perception of America in Europe and the right wing. Do you have something to say?
It's called manga.
What is that?
That's the anime on paper.
Why? He shouldn't know that.
I don't. I do now. Okay. Anyway,
remember when I banned someone?
I was like, dude, I have to go all the way deep into the bowels of YouTube to.
Anyways, I talked to someone from Spain yesterday. It was fascinating because I'm really actually curious about like the perception of Western Europeans of America, and I was just asking them like, do conservatives in Spain think of America as like this hopeful place of like where there's a conservative resurgence, or do you just think of us as like the engine of world degeneracy? And he's like, honestly, both. He's like, we blame America for basically like liberalizing Europe in the worst way, right? Like not in the traditional sense.
Doing social reengineering.
Well, just social reengineering, bringing about the administrative state and, like all the subversion and all of that. But at the same time, our immigration situation is worse than what's going on in America, and we feel it in a much more hostile way. What we see in New York and Dallas and other places, Los Angeles, they see it everywhere in Western Europe. And so at the same time as they are frustrated with the American hegemony in Europe, they also look up to the American right wing, and they're inspired by it because the American right wing, they say, is in a much healthier spot than the European right wing. And so it was really cool to talk to him. He was 23, and he was just explaining to me how
don't dox him, man.
They are like returning to the church. They are really there's a revival of traditional Catholicism in Spain. And he pointed this out, and it's the same thing in America, where young right-wing men, like heritage Spaniards, are leading the way back to the church, and
Yeah.
the women are more liberal.
That's right.
But their perception of that situation is that over time, as social democracy fails in Europe, the women will come along with the men. And if the
Yeah.
men can lead it, and it's the first time in a long time it's been like that, because usually it's the women that are predominant in the church and not the men. And everything's flipped. And that's actually really optimistic for the future.
Well, I think that mirrors, like you said, the situation in the United States, that there was a resurgence of Christian faith, particularly evangelicalism among young men, and it's something. I mean, we've commented on many times that like our leaders don't want like extremely right-wing young men in
Mhm.
churches,
Mhm.
and so new institutions will have to form to minister to them. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, even on the point, I mean, you see that. I mean, the chart. There was that polling that came out, a few months ago, where it broke things down among like Zoomer aged, young men and women.
Mhm.
So it broke it down among lines of gender, sex, not gender.
Sex.
Gender's fake. See, I'm so catechized in this stuff, man. It's so bad. And so on along sex, and then those two categories were divided based on who they voted for
Mhm.
for president. And so the single question was like, what is most important to having a good life, right?
Mhm.
And I think you could select multiple things, right? So young men that voted for Trump that were like 18 to 29 said having a family.
Mm.
That was like number one. And then young women who voted for Kamala, that's the large,
Right.
huge, that's like, was it 60, 70%? Having a family was the bottom
Mm.
thing that they had.
Mhm.
It was like single digit percentage included that.
Mhm.
Tops for them was a career
Mhm.
or having money.
They've been so brainwashed.
And then young men who voted for Kamala, I think that was, having a family was near the bottom
Mhm.
for them. And even Trump voting young women, having a family was, near the middle to the bottom.
Mm.
So like the only young people in America basically that want to have a family are young men that voted for Donald Trump.
Mm.
Right. Even like conservative young, they want to be boss babes.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a problem.
It's a problem.
And people don't want to admit it.
It's a problem.
Right. It's a problem in conservative churches
Mhm.
where it's like, oh, I know I want to go live my life and find myself by the time I'm 22, 23, 24, 25, 36. And then too late. Can't have a family now.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to be able to.
Mhm.
Right. It's a huge problem. Right. Just even like be able, pair bonding and having, young people meet each other and get married and have kids. Like that's not happening. And it's not happening because the young men are losers.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, if I see another boomer pastor say to young men, you need to man up and stop playing Xbox and get a job. And that's why you need to get married. If I see another one say that, I'm going to explode. I'm gonna chimp, man. And constantly see that all the time. It's like, no, I mean, yeah, are there young guys who are total losers? Of course. There always have been. Right. That has not changed. But the quality young men are not able to find wives. It's very, very, very hard. That's a huge societal problem. And you're not going to solve it until you like say, hey, young women, you need to get married.
Mhm.
Right. Until the call is made for the young women. Right. And it's always like comical to me when conservatives will talk about just go to trade school. You don't need to go to college. Go to trade school or go manage a Panda Express. Things like that. That's my advice to young men. It's like, what do you say to young women? And then like the same people be like, yeah, you go girl, get that PhD, get that master's degree, right? Get that career, that nice career.
Yeah.
Right. That's what they'll say to the young man, go manage a Panda Express.
Yeah.
Right. Go live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. Repairing mufflers. Right. Whether or not you got a 1400 on the SATs, right. And you should be going to college. Right. Part of it too is like everybody's expected to go to college and some people shouldn't.
Right.
Right. But instead, what happens is you say everybody to every young man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just ironic that they will never say those things to young women, and like pastors and leaders in the church will never say, "Hey, young women, right? If you think that like the 6'5", captain of the football team who's going to med school, right? That's what you're holding your hopes out to find." Right. And he's not already, knocking on the door. You like, no, like the guys that are interested in you are the guys that are interested in you. Right. Like it's not going to change. It's not going to maybe you change your environment, have a broader pool, but it'll be the same kind of guys. Right. That's the pond you're fishing in. Right. So pick the one you like the most and marry him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Don't wait and I'll find the right guy when I'm 36, 37 years old. Right. That's what they want. Just live your life. We can't, I don't want to pressure you. It's like, no, you need to be married.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Unless God has called you to a celibate life. And that's what you desire more than anything else. Right. You should be getting married. Right. And they'll never say
that's rare.
They're terrified of saying that. You're sexist. No, you want women to be barefoot and pregnant. You're a caveman. And it's like, well, no, I want like the human race to continue. I want America to continue to exist. And that doesn't happen unless you have babies. Right. Sorry, that's reality. Right. It's not going to happen because you got your second master's degree. Right. That's not going to preserve America. Right.
No.
But you're forbidden from saying that. So I'm not going to say that.
You would never say that.
Never say something like that. But I think like those things will be said when you have churches that are like 70% young men. Right?
Yeah, right.
They'll force the issue.
Yeah,
right. They will force that change
because it's right-wing traditional men that are going to church.
Yeah, I mean that will change the character of the churches.
It is cool.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
it's good. I mean, that's like the audience that we have is like most younger guys that are right-wing and very interested in traditional Protestant theology.
I remember I said this a few years ago after like Richard Spencer had his crash out, that basically like the secular right wing was just done.
Yeah.
And the Christian right was the only thing that was left. Yeah. And it's way stronger than it was 4 years ago.
Oh, it absolutely is. And there are, you can't see the comments. Did someone say Panda Express? Yeah, they did. Get the,
I got to go soon.
Get this meat fired chicken.
I gotta go soon.
Yeah, me too. No, I don't have anywhere to be until actually no. Oh wait, it's 4:00. Actually, I really do have to get going as well. Just that for real. Well, any last thoughts about the article? We went way on tangent.
No, I mean like I love Thanksgiving, and you need to go home and you need to Thanksgiving Max because like that's what's going to keep it alive.
Yeah, no counting macros tomorrow.
No, I mean I like
worried about that.
The second article was about like how the English Puritans exaggerated their Englishness out of fear that the children were going to lose it.
That's right.
Let's go home and let's exaggerate our Americanness. That's
and that doesn't mean like blasting Toby Keith and
no, of course not.
And slamming a Budweiser.
No, but it means, but it means like, I mean, I have William Bradford's diaries on my shelf and we read it. It's really short. It's like 2 paragraphs, the proclamation and like that, like just recover that because nobody even knows who William Bradford is anymore.
No, they don't.
So,
no. So, wow. Look at that. Look at this super chat here.
I can't see it.
Yeah, CJ forgot it. We're new setup, so CJ forgot the computer. From Corbin 9906, $20. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Yeah. Happy
Same.
Thanksgiving, Corbin. Thank you very much
Same.
for the super chat.
Patriot.
And Patriot. Absolutely. American Patriot Thanksgiving. Before we go, we have to name the turkey of the year.
Oh,
Let's go. Let me go through the nominees.
is there nominees?
Yeah, there's some nominees.
Where are you getting these? You're just pulling them from.
The Top Guys chat compiled all the nominees for us.
When was this? Today?
Yeah, CJ doesn't check anything. Here, let me pull it up. So we've got
I already know who I want.
I know who I want. Text it to me. Text me.
Are you on the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
What's your name? Andrew.
Where are they at? We've got there's too many
He
messages.
was just the biggest clown of the year.
Yeah, it is. Come on, I gotta find them. Okay, so there we go. We've got a lot of nominees.
Was this a poll or was this a?
No, it wasn't a poll. I just said give me some. No, this is great radio because I'm looking for them. All right, so Ted Cruz is a nominee.
When was this? Yesterday?
No, it's today. Don't worry. Ted Cruz is a nominee. Big smoked Texas turkey Ted is actually what we'll call him. And he's nominated for getting his entire raison d'etre from the United States Senate being Israel and for having that come from his Sunday school teacher who failed to tell him where in the Bible that comes from. So that's the basis of his nominee. Also, a late entry in the year, Rod Dreher for leveraging his relationship to JD Vance into claiming that Vance hates Fuentes but is afraid to denounce him in order to get clout, I guess, which is just despicable to say, oh, he told me thus and such, betraying, private conversation of a friend. And another nominee, I won't tell you my winner. I won't give you the winner. Someone wanted to nominate Jenna Ellis for fighting with CJ last year. Was that last year?
That was last year. Yeah.
Yeah. In the past year, or was it 2024?
It was 2024.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she's not eligible. No, she's not eligible. Sorry.
I saw what your vote was, your nomination.
Yeah, and I think that's the winner.
I don't know.
What? We're gonna have to arm wrestle over this. Wait. So my nomination was Vivek Ramaswamy for. This was early. I mean, actually, it's still late 2024,
Yeah,
but we're still going to
crash
count.
out.
But it's since the last Thanksgiving.
Oh, is that
December
what it is?
2024
Okay.
counts. And, for crashing out
In
on
that
Christmas
case,
Day and saying America needs infinity H-1Bs because American kids are too stupid and lazy because all they did was watch Saved by the Bell and Boy Meets World. And so that's my nominee. Who's your nominee?
I had Joel Berry.
You had Joel Berry for this? Why
For
Joel?
saying that if he had to create a lab created candidate,
That's even worse.
it would be Vivek Ramaswamy. and then 6 days later, Vivek tweets out "Happy Diwali."
Yeah. That is
like lab created. I'm thinking George Washington, right? He's thinking Vivek Ramaswamy.
Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah. Oh, we have a late entry here.
Who is it? Can't see. Want to show me your computer?
Rest easy, brother. We have the watch. We'll see you in Valhalla. Cash Patel for the.
That was pretty bad.
That's the top cringe moment of.
That was pretty bad.
I think. That was
pretty bad.
What on earth? Yeah. So Cash Patel.
But he's been really lame.
He has been. I still think it's Vivek, man.
Let's go with Vivek.
I think we got to go with Vivek Ramaswamy, the turkey of the year, for his Christmas comments on
Christmas crash out.
His Christmas crash out on H-1B for saying Americans are too stupid and lazy. They're not like us who just study the dictionary all day long. So we can win the spelling bee.
So what does he get?
So Vivek gets a free Diwali prime rib cooked by Sija Engel.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
So make sure you get the
Get his address. Send me your
hopefully
address.
his address.
He's watching this.
Is next year is not going to be the governor's mansion of Ohio.
Yes.
How do you? I mean, Ohio's a big state. How do you not have anybody?
The GOP is the enemy. Like they're the ones that are running these people.
They're going to lose that state to this
Yeah.
like stupid communist woman because they nominated a guy whose greatest achievement in life is scamming people out of tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars in a fake Alzheimer's drug.
Yeah.
Right. That's his grand accomplishment in life.
Mhm.
And we're saddled with this loser. Right. Because like, oh, he's Indian, I guess. And we want to look not racist.
Yeah.
Right. Like literally, that's the reason he's there. It's disgusting. Like we have to, and this guy that's so condescending.
He's gonna lose. You think he's gonna lose?
There's nobody else running for. Like they are handing him the GOP nomination for Ohio, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Like they gotta find somebody else. Like Jim Tressel was. I mean, Jackson can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he won a few national championships for Ohio State. He's the lieutenant governor. And he was gonna run, but like, no, let Vivek have it. Right? They made him step.
Really?
Not run.
Wow.
Yeah. And like he just walk away with the governorship. And so like that may be like the most distressing thing, right? You're being all optimistic. I'm blackpilling right now because like, I don't want. And it's like if I lived in Ohio, like, and he's the nominee, like I have to vote for him. I wouldn't want this like.
I wouldn't vote for him.
Communist.
I wouldn't vote for him. Like
I mean,
you can correct insanity, like economic insanity. You can correct it, but you have to punish the GOP right now.
I don't know. I think. I mean, maybe.
I mean, if it was the House and the Senate at the federal level, and you needed to maintain a Republican, I would.
I know, but I watched my state go from a place where Republicans could win. I mean, they were weak and awful. I mean, Tim Pawlenty was like an American Vivek Ramaswamy. He was not a good governor. Like Jesse Ventura is actually a better governor than him. Although Tim Pawlenty did, sign conceal carry, which was nice. But like, what does it matter now after Mark Dayton and Tim Walz? Like, if you had to use it, you will go to prison. So like, congrats, you can carry a gun, but like, you're going to jail, bro. If you ever have to fire it. And it's like they were totally unable. They had like majorities in the House too. Like they couldn't accomplish anything and crush the left in the state. And they take over. And now look at the state now.
This is the moment to crush the GOP. Like my plan would be to crush the GOP, win at the federal level, and then bring all the states in line and humiliate the Democrat governor of Ohio federally. That's like, you have to eventually it has to happen because the GOP is trying to wait Trump out right now.
Yeah, well, they totally are.
And like the Paul Ryans are going to come back and try to take over the party.
They're going to try to. I don't think they'll be able to. Right.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is you have to crush the GOP right now. You have to humiliate them. You have to show them if you go down this route, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my perspective.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would like anybody. I mean, it's the same thing in like Florida, right? Florida has a very good governor. You should never run for president. Very, very good governor. And they want to do the same thing they did with Vivek. And I mean, Trump is responsible for Vivek too, right? Like he wants him to, I think he has his endorsement already. Byron Donalds is the same thing. Is like,
we should have Fishback on.
Oh, absolutely, we should. And
so his name
should be
Fishback.
He should be.
We should probably go.
Oh, hold on. I got to read some Jim Tressel lore here. from Jackson. When I met Tressel when I was 8, the first thing he asked me is what church I go to. Great man.
Patriot.
That should be the governor of Ohio, right? Not Vivek Ramaswamy. You kidding me? Like you and Jim Tressel? Of course you don't. He always wore a sweater vest, Ohio State sweater vest on the sideline. And,
Oh, cool.
Like
Classic Ohioan.
Wholesome dude. Like to be the governor of Ohio, right? Him. Getting me angry. But yeah, no, I mean it's the same thing though. Like they in Florida, they just say, here you go, Byron Donalds. You could be the governor. We're not going to have anyone oppose you. And so yeah, I hope James just like makes it really, really competitive.
He's not going to though, right?
You don't think so? I
don't know. I don't know Florida politics, but it seems like it's too entrenched for an upstart guy to.
I mean, maybe it is, but at the same time, like you have to do something.
Right?
Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have to.
For sure. Get in there, lose, make your predictions, and then get it on the next one. That's I mean, we're still on a 2-year out.
You can't just have this incompetent buffoon who is going to do GOP establishment stuff all day long, right? It's going to flood your state full of H-1Bs, right? Do nothing about the problems that confront actual, Floridians or Ohioans, right? I made the mistake one time with Indiana, calling them Indianans. They're Hoosiers. Forgot.
Don't forget.
Not
Don't forget. They don't like that.
Yeah. Some states have their own, quaint little nickname for themselves. Anyway, that's all we've got for today.
All right.
I gotta go. I gotta go take the turkey out of the brine and start drying it. Very important step, by the way.
Go do that. You're making a turkey?
You got to dry the turkey out. It has to be it's got to be dry. So we're gonna dry that bad boy overnight, so the skin gets very crispy. Important because rubbery skin, man. Worst thing in the world. Right? we gotta. So it's been brining. It's been brining.
Let's go.
I put that thing in my Yeti and just filled it full of salt water, like it's swimming in the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of America, and then. It's just been chilling in there, full of ice packs, right? It's below 40 degrees, and it's just been swimming in the frigid Gulf of America, and it's great. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait. I mean, that's not the other thing. Is like you spend like days building up this feast. It's as American as it gets. All right. So anyway,
happy Thanksgiving.
I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope you get all the turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and cranberry out of a can, right? With the ridges on the side. That's the only way to go. Hope you enjoy all of it and you get seconds and thirds and maybe fourths, right? Watch some. I'm going to force him to watch football with me tomorrow. I didn't tell you this.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
Tape you to it. It's gonna be like the scene from that movie where they got the eyes. Like you're gonna be forced to watch football. And the Vikings aren't even playing, but doesn't matter.
Who's playing?
Well, always the Cowboys and the Lions. Are you calling yourself an American? They play every year on Thanksgiving. Cowboys and the Lions.
Man.
Plus some other team that no one cares about. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. And you get to sing and read Bible with your families. We're going to do that tomorrow. A bunch of families are going to get together. We're going to eat. We're going to have to print out some song, or maybe we'll just bring the hymnals there. We'll talk about the details later. But we're going to have a blast. It's going to be great. And I hope you all are able to enjoy that with your families and your friends and celebrate what God has done for us this year. So stay peacefully dangerous, and we'll see you next time.